We have a journalist from the Kathmandu Post to talk about the recent political development in the country. Mr. Giri, how do you see this turmoil in the government coalition?
So thank you for having me. So I see this political turmoil in two different ways. One is there are some external, factors also behind this kind of political turmoil. The other is there are some compulsions and there are some misunderstanding and division within a ruling coalition also. So ruling coalition was not in a good shape last couple of days or probably couple of weeks. There was some kind of misunderstanding between the two major ruling coalition parties, between Nepali Congress and the CPN Maoist Center. Basically, after the election of the Koshi province, and there was some kind of misunderstanding and a kind of lack of confidence between the Prime Minister and some of the Nepali Congress ministers, and the recently concluded election to the National Mahasamiti meeting of the Nepali Congress. These are some of the primary factors that has led to the to create this kind of turmoil in the government. So it is in the trouble. So probably there will be a new government by this evening. And there is some external factors also. We shouldn't rule out the geopolitical factors behind the government change, the frequent changes in the coalition in Nepali context. So I think we should not rule out the possibility of China's engagement in bringing two communist parties together. That is why if you see the recent statement of the Prime Minister, just this morning, Prime Minister also made it clear that we have started the process of left unity also. So so that is why there is some external and there is some internal reason behind the turmoil of this government. And we have to
Mr.
look
Giri,
after...
before we go to the external part, can you please explain us regarding the internal reasons?
So internal reason, as I said, there were differences between within the ruling partners, basically Nepali Congress and the CPN Maoist. After basically the election of the National Assembly in the Koshi province, then the Mahasamiti meeting of the Nepali Congress, and there was another turning point there when the Maoist Standing Committee meeting, it decided to not to give the position of National Assembly to the Nepali Congress, Sitaula, Kisba Sitaula. So these are the four defining moments that has led to the turmoil to the present coalition government. So I think, and there was and Prime Minister had also very, discomfort, or he has not that kind of comfortable relations with some Nepali Congress ministers like Finance Minister Prakash Saran Mahat. So Prime Minister and Finance Minister Prakash Saran Mahat were not in this one boat, similar boat. So they had a very, very deep misunderstanding for quite long time. So Prime Minister was telling Deuba, so please recall, Mahat and send new one, or I'll send the new one. So this kind of, kind of misunderstanding was there between Nepali Congress and the Maoist. So, but Deuba didn't heed, or Deuba didn't listen the grievances of the Prachanda. So Prachanda has been telling that I am facing difficulties due to some of the ministers of the Nepali Congress. So that is why these are some of the internal factors that led to the turmoil in the government. So probably there will be a new government. So I particularly see there are 4-5 reasons, as I mentioned.
Mr. Giri,
4-5 reasons are here. Yeah.
Mr. Giri, however, Deuba was ready to shuffle his ministers last night during the discussion last night. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, could you repeat your question?
Deuba, ruling Nepali Congress President Deuba was willing to change the ministers last night during the discussion last night. What do you have to say about that?
No, Deuba was ready to reshuffle his minister, but it was already too late. So because Prachanda had already made up his mind, so that is why that is why there is a new coalition is emerging. So this is not happening overnight. So it was happening quite some time, so quite some week. So this kind of developments were there. So it is not, my understanding is that this thing is not happening overnight. It has been taking place gradually since weeks and probably months. So that is why this kind of turmoil is there. So even Deva was prepared. Deva was ready to sacrifice the post of National Assembly chair. Deva was ready to sacrifice his minister. So Deva was hell-bent to give everything to the Prachanda. But now Prachanda is totally, he is off with Deva, or totally he is how to say he is not in a mood to accommodate Nepali Congress in the government. So that is why the external players is there. So if you disconnect the external factors in this entire episode, so we could not reach in a conclusion. So there was a suffocation inside the ruling coalition. There was a misunderstanding taking place quite some time, probably 1 month or probably some weeks. And this internal suffocation and internal misunderstanding and controversy led to the external factors to enter into the game. So that is the result. So this is not happening overnight. So these are the result of quite some time, and these maneuvering or this kind of political political situation was evolvement was taking place in Kathmandu quite some times. We have been reporting this kind of things, that there are some misunderstanding brewing between the ruling alliance. There are misunderstanding growing between the ruling alliance. So nobody is going to listen to each other. Misunderstanding and rift is widening, and it is widening, and one after another. After Kosi debacle, after Nepali Congress Mahasamiti meeting, after Nepali Congress pushes the name of Krishna Sitaula, and even Deva's Dahal's request Deva's to remove finance minister or health minister, Mr. Mohan Basanet. So there are several reasons that accumulate to the present situation. I don't think that is happening overnight. Yeah.
Mr. Giri, how important is the role of KP Sharma Oli in the current change in the political dynamics? Because Oli previously had said that he is not interested in joining the government or being a part of the coalition.
So the thing is that there is a popular proverb in English. There is no permanent foe or friends in international relations and the politics. So now KP Oli and Prachanda are no more foe, no more enemies to each other. So that is why everything is fair in law, war, and politics. That is why the result is there. So we cannot expect any kind of morality from our politicians. The only thing is that they are always looking after the opportunity, good opportunities, so how to grab the power. So that is why whatever KP Oli has been saying in the last couple of months, after probably 1 year after Prachanda betrayed him, and see his statement and see his statement today and yesterday. So there was a huge changes. Obviously without support of UML, without support of KP Oli, the new coalition cannot move ahead. They cannot venture in a good position. They cannot do good. So KP Oli's role is very vital, very important to sustain this coalition. But the thing is that KP Oli's personal nature is very possessive. That is why last time the coalition was break down. So if he will continue the similar kind of modus of operandi against the government and try to keep control over the government, probably Prachanda is a very unstable character, and probably he will again switch his political position, and he may go around again with the Nepali Congress. That is why this time this is very crucial for Oli to give the continuity of this coalition. Otherwise, there will be a frustration among the people about the politics or politics of alliance, or politics of how to say
Mr. Giri, will KP Oli support the HAL for the next 4 years? What do you think?
that is a very finger, that is a kind of very speculative questions. But uh, I I I I can predict that. I can predict that he may give his oaths. You can continue your government till another 3 years, and after during the election time, someone from UML, probably me or someone else, will be the prime minister while uh, you know uh, to conduct the election. Okay, so uh, probably during the election time, I think UML wants to lead the government of its own. So that could be a condition. I don't think there would be there has been such kind of gentleman agreement that how many for how many years Prachanda will lead the government, and how many years UML will lead the government, or entirely another 4 years Prachanda will lead the government. So we don't know what kind of agreement has been reached between Prachanda and the Oli and regarding the future of this coalition. If they agree on that, probably UML will definitely seek the election government. So UML will definitely try to strike a deal with the Prachanda to at the last moment when the election will be there for 1 year. So we have to lead the government. So I think that could be a possible arrangement between Oli and Prachanda. This is my personal hunch.
Mr. Giri, can we expect unification between Mao Center and CPN UML?
That is again a very hypothetical question, but in the initial day, when the NCP was formed in 2017, 18, 19, we are also similar kind of romanticism, political romanticism about the CP, NCP. Probably we may think similar kind of things, but the thing is that look, there are other characters also who are like Rashtrasundra Party is also there, probably Janamat Party is also will be on board. Janta Samajwadi Party is also there. So it is very difficult for them to, if they call for the larger left unity, probably what will happen to them. Definitely you will see again there will be a this kind of political slogans in the street and between the communist leaders that will form the Nepal Communist Party. You see there are left unity, and who will drive it for another couple of years. Definitely. So these kind of things will be there. But I doubt, because if you see the history, I doubt there will be a possibility of such kind of, government, such kind of, unity among the leftist party. And the sustainability is very important. So having left unity is not a big deal. The important thing is that how sustain they can, how Prachanda and Oli can sustain the left unity. That is very important, and that is very crucial. Yes, I expect that Oli and Prachanda, UML and Maoist, they will definitely sell out this political agenda among the public for another couple of months and probably years. But I doubt whether this will longer last or not.
Mr. Giri, a meeting was held with Chinese leader and members of Indian embassy yesterday as well, like you hinted earlier. Do you think there is a connection with the change in the political dynamics of the country?
So the thing is that when there is a when domestic politics becomes very unpredictable and the fluid, then the external factors they comes. Because when the government was formed last year, this Prachanda and the Nepali Congress and the CPN Maos, they came together, they formed the government. That had also a kind of had linkages, external linkages. It has a very soft corner. Indians and Americans had put soft corner towards that particular alliance. And again now this new alliance is brewing, and Chinese were not happy with some of the developments inside Nepal quite sometimes. They have publicly, vented their ire and their anger that things are not going good inside Nepal. That is why this coalition has to break down. So they are trying their best to bring down this coalition, or they want to see the Communist Party together so that there could be some kind of positive environment about China. So what the Chinese were thinking, that there is a crisis, Pokhara airport is in the crisis, BRI is in the crisis, their projects are not moving ahead, and there were a, there were a, there was a public sentiment that Chinese projects undertaken by the Chinese firms are not moving ahead, and even Chinese leaders, they publicly told in Kathmandu to our leaders that, look, some elements, some foreign powers are trying to destabilize or sabotage our relations with Nepal. So that was the public frustration about the China. That is why they were hell-bent. They were hell-bent to bring UML and the Maoists together. This is an open secret. Everybody knows this. And if you go and talk to the UML and the Maoist leader, definitely they will say yes. There was a very soft corner of the Beijing towards this new coordination. Earlier it would say that New Delhi and Washington were very much encouraging and supporting towards the formation of the alliance last year. And now if you go and ask Maoist and UML leaders, they will definitely say you, yes, Beijing is very supportive and positive towards this alliance. So yes, that is why there is some external factors, and Chinese, they were pushing hard for the left unity, or not so, they were trying to bring UML and Maoists together in the government, so that some of their concerns and the grievances would be heard and addressed. Okay, so this they have been doing exercise quite some time, and which has paid off.
Mr. Giri, it is the third coalition government in 14 months. I know it's too early to talk about it, but can we expect a change in the government delivery as parties like RSP, Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Janamat Party, including CP and UML, are joining the coalition? So can we expect a change in the government delivery?
That is very, very important question. That is very important question, because now the UML, Rashtriya Swatantra Party and others, which the issues they have been raising when they were in the opposition, now they have to address. There are several questions. The state of the economy is there. People are flying in a drove outside the country. There is a question of foreign policy. There is a question of these cooperatives. So people are coming in the street on the demanding of different kinds of microfinance and others. So, and there are outstanding issues of development and other things. People aspirations are there. So now this government has to deliver the duty, and delivers the service delivery is very important, very key. And coalition is in a very difficult is a very difficult political equation. So everywhere in the world, so not in Nepal, everywhere in the world, when you have a coalition, you have to manage the things very, very carefully, and you have to handle the things very carefully. If you don't handle the things very carefully, there are a chance of having betrayal to the people. That is why I still doubt. So because we have seen Prachanda for last couple of years, so we have seen his leadership. So that is why you can easily predict that Prachanda cannot deliver that what he has been saying. So changes in the government will bring a lasting kind of there will be a people are hopeful. Can people be the hopeful? I still doubt, because it's a coalition, and there is a change of the people faces. I think not much. There are some structural changes. Until and unless we don't have a structural changes and structural reform, we cannot expect anything from the any kind of government. That is why whether this new government will take a lead or take a risk for the structural change of this change and the reform in the governance system, job creation, from economic situation, from microeconomic, improving the microeconomic indicators, from people going outside, from the economic delivering the economic aspect. So these are the very, very tall order. So I'm not that much pessimistic that this government cannot deliver. We have to be optimistic, and we have to give some kind of benefit of doubt to the government. But given the economic, the social situation, of the country, political situation of the country, the equation of the coalition, and how this coalition is moving ahead. So that is why I see because I see the chances are very 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 weak and bleak, and it may not deliver that it has promised right now. So you will see now you will see that there will be a tall promises will coming from the ministers. Every minister is making a tall promises. Now people are in the street. There are microfinance, the people of the affected people of the microfinance, the people of the cooperatives, people from the others community. They are in the street. You have a crisis here and there. You have to form the new government in the all provinces. So you have to manage the entire politics. You have to make a house in order. You have to give the delivery to the people. You have to give the development. You have to give the justice to the people. Students are going abroad. So how do you address all this kind of frustrations among the people and anger? So this is not a joke. So this is not a small tax for the government, any government. That is why there are huge challenges are there. I'm optimistic that this government should deliver because they have given a huge promises when they were in the opposition party. So if you see the speeches of the Rabi Lamisane and KP Oli and Upendra Yadav and others, they used to say that they have a kind of magical word that they can solve the things overnight. So now we have to see that whether this is going to happen or not. This is going to be a big test case. Yeah.
Mr. Giri, thank you for sharing your insight on the recent political development. We hope to connect to you in our further bulletins. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.